Hey, kitty girls, it's Sunday, April 13th, 2025, and welcome to COL Drag Race T-Time, where we are at Season 17, COLDR Episode 8, where we are discussing the most recent two episodes of the current US-based season. I almost said system. Girl. We are discussing How's Your Headliner and LipSync Lalaparuza. For those of you that don't know, my name is Gary. With me is my ever-fabulous co-host.
Hello, everyone. It's Damon. Let's do this. Let's get it going.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's jump into our first segment here.
Racers, start your engines, and may the best drag queen win.
I'm not even gonna make the comment anymore. It's old, just like Mother. All right, put the pedal to the metal. So these are our overall. What are you talking about? I mean, just. Facts is facts. So anyways, these are our overall thoughts on these most recent two episodes of the season. We're going to have some serves, some swerves, and some nerves. Serves happen to be the positive things that we appreciated about the episodes we want to recognize. Swerves are probably the things you should have avoided and not so great moments. And then nerve, girl, it could be like one of the most damned like positive things you could do or negative things you could do. So that being said, episode 14, which happens to be the headliner episode. So basically the girls are competing to show that they are deserving of a slot in the Las Vegas live show, which Damon has insider knowledge of because you have seen the show how many times now?
Twice now.
Twice.
Right.
So you have a real feel for what the expectation is of the performing to come out of that. And I think that was kind of key in this particular like challenge.
Yeah, I agree. I think knowing the without getting into a lot of but like knowing that it's Vegas, knowing a little bit about the show because the show's been out there for a while. And FYI, everybody, the performances don't change. Like, hi, I've seen it twice. Most of the time, the performances don't change. Mm-hmm. The queens like swap in and out of stuff, but most of the time, the performances don't change. That's okay though. Like each queen gets an opportunity to do their own thing, but the bricks and skeleton of the show,
right?
You're going to get the same thing,
right?
That's okay though. But knowing how to sell to a Vegas audience who sometimes are not going to be like me, who has seen it multiple times, you're kind of doing a one and like flash and done,
right?
Kind of thing. So you need to bring it all in the immediate. You can't hold back. I'll put it like that. You can't really hold back. So yeah.
So, what are you giving serves to out of these two episodes?
So for episode 14, OMG Tracy Ellis Ross. That was a gag at the end of the season to like have that bright of a star, and not only that, like she was amazing and she looked great, and she provided some really good insight in Untucked that I was super a fan of. And then she got to see two queens lip sync to a song by her mom. So that's something else. Yeah, I was so happy seeing her and watching that, and just it made sense that it was the not even penultimate, I guess, not really. Sort of finale-ish episode for the season, almost. So yeah. And then for episode 15, for the Lalaparuza, I am giving the highest serves to two queens who are often overlooked and have been overlooked this season. Lucky and Acacia. They wore me out. It was amazing. It was so fun. I wished Lucky didn't do the same shit she did in that one and the other one, but that's beside the point. But it was fun and entertaining, and the song worked, and they had just like Acacia wowed me with just like reveals and stuff that she hadn't been doing, and just giving a lot of the versatility that I hate to say she kind of lacked in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a sign, I think, like we were saying in pre-show, that this was some growth, some time since they recorded the show to now.
Mm-hmm.
And it really showed, I think, in Lucky and Acacia's lip syncs. That was amazing.
I agree. I think for some of the queens, this was a pivotal moment to show the kind of the uniqueness of them, because I think sometimes they go on and either they bring a narrative or the edit gives them a narrative. Mm-hmm. And so they're using this as a moment to show a difference of themselves, so that Acacia is not just this, country bumpkin, mm-hmm. essence queen. Right. And so, yeah, like her hair flipped to natural hair. I was like, oh, well, hello there.
I didn't even like, and the way it happened, it was so fucking like quick and natural. Like I bet she practiced that shit like
mm-hmm.
hours.
Right.
Hours.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah. No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. How about you?
So I have to give a serve because Mama, like, there's no way you cannot recognize in episode 14 the return of Latrice motherfucking Royale. Honey, the fact that they had Latrice be the interviewer, I was like, oh, Mother is like, I don't do this anymore. And I'm not even having my lackey Michelle do this. I'm plucking one of my queens, one of my closer knit family from the Las Vegas review to do the interview. I was very, very happy. I was very proud.
Yes.
So that to me was a highlight. I was like, yes.
It was so good seeing her and hearing her. And I do agree in a way that, again, we were talking about earlier, where you need that like insider knowledge, because the way to hey everybody, Las Vegas show, the show, it goes 2 times a night, 3 or 4 times like in the weekend. Like it's like I think a Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
mm-hmm.
and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So those girls are around each other
mm-hmm.
for like hours on end.
Well, and Derek has talked about it a lot in interviews, like because Derek is the consummate Vegas performer, entertainer, loves to do it, will do it probably till they die, and talks about, like, we put in 40 hours a week. So while you only see us on stage for a couple hours each night, we're constantly rehearsing. We're backstage. We're preparing. We're doing, updating costumes. We're changing this. Like, and I thought that was really, spot on to bring Latrice as someone who's been in the trenches and knows what the gig is, to basically kind of semi, help to get a taste for what the newest member might be.
Yeah, agreed.
So yes. Episode 15. I want to give this serve because honestly, this is probably one of my better favorite parts of this last episode, besides the fact that it being a new flavor on the reunion. Quote unquote, changing the rules. They only made one rule change.
Yeah.
But it did have a nice little bump of an impact.
Yes.
And that was no longer did you, like, when you went first, did you have to, I don't remember what it used to be.
So it used to be you picked who you performed against.
Right, and then the second person
just picked the song.
Right, and now they changed it up to you could pick either.
Yeah.
So you could pick to your wheelhouse and be like, I want this song because I know this, the House Down Boots, and I don't give a shit who I go against. So there was a little bit of a gamesmanship aspect to it that I like that they added that in, because some of the queens do kind of fret a little about what they're picking versus song versus contestant.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I kind of like that. Although it also be kind of, I don't know, like, due to the numbers I'll talk about it later. There's just things that like were a little strange, but also at the same time a little manipulative. The one thing I didn't care for was those perfect shots of Bruno holding the ball with the name each individual time, because I was like, well, that's obvious they did that like either pre or post. Like,
or like they had to like, and here you go, and then hold on. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Right. Like set it perfect, or each individual time, and also the golden hopper. I got two things to say about this. This isn't even on here anywhere. One, did you notice that the handle that Bruno grabs basically looks like a dildo? Everybody go back and watch it.
But I'm gonna have to watch it.
Everybody go back and watch it, because I was like, that's not the normal handle for that. That's not what that handle looks like. I was like, that's very phallic shaped. It's not a peen. It's not a dildo. It's just it looks a lot like something that a person would use for such activities. But the second thing that bothered me about the golden hopper is the balls don't move. Like no. he's moving them around. Like, yeah, he's rotating the golden drum, but the balls aren't bouncing back and forth laterally. They just kind of stay in the same spot.
It is not a it is not a raffle it makes. Like, the balls are big,
right?
Not as many.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming either, okay, here's where production, maybe what are they doing? Mm-hmm. Are they recording it slow so you get like, okay, this is what's going on, yada yada, and then like we do a big quick like rotate, because if you go fast, you're not going to catch it. You're not going to catch anything. But never mind. We know why. We know why it's not running very fast. We know why it's not why there's not like a whole bunch of like things happening. Production, right. TV, it's a fucking thing. Like, none
of it's real.
Like, especially when there's two in there. Like, when you're sitting, like when it was, who was it? Was it Lana and? Yeah, the Lana and.
Well, there was like one. Right, like there was only like 3 or 4 left or something. It was really silly because I was like, "What are we doing?"
Well, the Lana and Crystal one, they had to who picks the song, because that's sort of the thing.
Right.
Because they were the last two left.
Right.
So there's 2 balls like sitting there, and they're just sitting there. And then he's rolling it, and you can see they're not going like bouncing. They're not going like one or the other. They're not doing it.
Baby, they're just like truck nuts. They're just there. Like yeah. There's nothing happening.
Yeah. Anyway, that part. But I like the idea of the choices being there and them getting to choose one or the other. I did like that.
Yeah.
And it does make a unique, like, how do you do it sort of thing.
Right. All right, so let's move on to swerves. I am not surprised by your first one.
So, meet me at the gift shop. Boot. It was nothing. I don't want to be that person. It was nothing. Mm-hmm. We got no like choreography rehearsal. Mm-hmm. We got no like individual like lyrics, which again, if it's going into the Vegas show, makes sense because they wouldn't have that.
Right.
So what we essentially got is a performance number. Mm-hmm. But we never saw them like do any choreo rehearsal, work with the dancers. I'm assuming Jamal Sims choreo did. I'm hoping Jamal Sims choreo did because he does the show. Mm. Who knows? They didn't say anything. He wasn't even there, so who the fuck knows?
Right, right.
But it just felt empty.
Well, because it was vapid. Like, there was nothing to it. And to your point, They didn't really show us anything. Also, it really kind of cracked me up because on Race Chaser, Willem and Alaska were talking, and Willem's like kind of bitching about their looks, and Alaska's like, they're tired. It's the end of the season. They don't have anything left to wear. Like it was really comical to me how Alaska was very like from the real life experience being like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like they have like 3 outfits left. They did the best with what they had.
Yeah.
Anyways,
agreed.
But no, it was so self-serving.
Yeah.
And like it didn't do anything. And then Willem went on his usual screed about like, how dare you make this song when the girls can't promote themselves? Like in the gift shop, the one thing apparently they can do is they can do 8x10s, but it has to be at a different staircase, like after the show, and they only sell 8x10s that are signed, like blah blah blah, like right then and there. Like you can't do anything else. Like there's a single chocolate bar in the gift shop for the show that has the queens on it, but it's the original cast that launched it in the beginning. Like he was so critical. He was like, I call bullshit on all this. He's like, no.
I haven't been into the RuPaul's Drag Race gift shop. I've seen it. I've walked past it because once you get from the lift, you kind of have to walk past it to get to the theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I've seen like when they show in the show, they show you like, because one of the dancers runs to the gift shop to get stuff, and yeah. Anyway, it's cute. It's meant to promote RuPaul,
right,
and RuPaul's Drag Race,
right,
not the individual queens.
Correct.
Because you never know which queens are going to be at the show, and unless each queen had a rotating list, like amount of things, and we're able to put them out, like
right.
It's hard. I understand Willem's point, and I agree to an extent, but also the queens are hopefully getting paid really well to do this show. Just saying.
Well, I think Willem's point is like, let each queen in the cast have one thing.
Yeah.
Just one thing. Could be a mug, could be a hat, right. Shirts are problematic, they come in sizes. Like, let them have a single thing.
True.
That they would have to maintain an inventory, and supply or whatever. Like, you don't have to do. Anyways, point made. Moving on. What else are you? Oh, yeah.
Hormona tried. That's what I have down.
Did she?
So let me say this in the nicest way I know how.
Mm-hmm.
And nope, this isn't gonna be nice. I'm just gonna say it. I loved everything on Hormona from here down. Hormona has the sourest face. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she was done. I didn't even want to come back to this chicken shit gig. I don't know. Like something felt like off. Because she did all of her reveals in the first number without any hesitation, with no real reason.
Within the first 90 seconds.
And I'm just like, girl, and you were going against Lydia, just stop. I don't, you had an opportunity to really make this something fun and unique and different, and you ended up making it just blah. And again, I loved your outfit. And I had a bunch of little reveals that I think if they had been in a different song, you chose the song, by the way, bitch, might have worked really well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, one, I think she might have RBF.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, there was something. I don't know what the thing was. I don't know if she felt kind of sour about her edit or how things were handled. Maybe, it was how she got treated when they came back for this reunion type thing. I don't know. But yeah, it was a little off. And it was very strange how she did all the reveals in the beginning of the song. And I was just like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
But that was her choice.
Here we are. She tried. Girl, she tried.
Yeah.
Gary, how about you?
So, all right.
Wait, hold on.
What?
I got the first one, and I kind of agree, but the second one we're going to need to talk about. But
all right. So, in episode 14, there are two things for me that were swerves. The first one is Inflexible Susie.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean, of all the times that you are trying to advance and get to the end, this is the moment where you open up, you tell your story, like you explain and show like how fluid you can be to the demands that are coming at you. And she didn't do that. She like quadrupled down on the Susie Toot brand.
Yes.
So it's not a surprise that she's the one that gets the cut. Like, and she felt it fit, like the edit didn't, of course, help, but she felt awkward. Like it was strange. And of course, they put in the moment where, you know, Rue's like, have you ever been to Vegas or thought about going to be on Vegas or whatever? And Susie goes, no.
Oh.
Like, and it's kind of funny because I'm like, right, like Susie, it's very obvious Susie wants to be on Broadway, not Vegas stage.
True.
Like, but the downside is Susie didn't have the foresight to say, yes, like that is a part of my career path. I want to do theater. I want to do Broadway. I want to do the West End, and I want to do a residency in Vegas. Do you know what I mean? Like you just tack it on to the end, girl. Like you just just. But she didn't. She was just like, nope. I'm gonna stick to my shtick, and here we go. And I was like,
oh.
But we'll talk more about this. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay. We need to talk about this other part.
All right. So if you didn't notice this, then obviously it wasn't an issue for you. Sam Starr's upper lip liner in episode 14. Her upper lip liner is this darker outline. It's a pet peeve that I have. I don't like drag queens that use a shade of lip liner that's about 7 shades or more darker to line their lips, and then they fill in the color. And so it's like bubblegum pink and like this ridiculous dark maroon blood, like, you know, almost brownish outline color. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it just looks crappy. Anyways, but Sam's face never draws my attention in the way that this did, that especially they were in Untucked, and I was like, what is wrong with her mouth? Like, I kept staring at it. I was like, oh my God, there has to be something going on here. And it finally occurred to me that she had this dark outline of her upper lip, and it looked like she had this ridiculous pencil mustache drawn onto her upper lip, but it wasn't in the right place. Like, it wasn't across like the area between the nose and the Cupid's bow. Like, it was right on the lip. It just drove me nuts. Like, I just kept staring at it. I was like,
I'm trying to pull up the.
And then at this point, honestly, Damon, I was like, of course no one's gonna tell her. Like, no one's gonna say anything to each other at this stage because they're trying to get to the end. So no one's gonna be like, girl, what are you doing here? Like this does not a good look make.
Okay, I'm looking. I know. Okay.
This is when she was in the orange number.
Yeah.
The quote unquote outerwear. Anyways,
ooh, that was almost one I talked about too. Just saying.
Yes, it's a beautiful gown, but it's not outerwear.
Baby, that is a pageant gown, and I don't think it's hers.
No, it's not. Willem called it out. Willem's like, and she borrowed it. And Alaska's like, well, and Willem's like, no, it doesn't fit right. It's obviously not hers. It wasn't made for her body, her like, you know, height or whatever. And I was like, no.
I mean,
so
it's facts are facts, America.
I know. All right, so then I'm going to give a swerve on episode 15 to lack of planning. And the reason why I'm calling it lack of planning is I feel like the queens forgot how a LipSync Lalaparuza works. You have multiple rounds.
True.
So if you're bringing an outfit and a look, why would you put everything out on the floor, quote unquote, in the very first round? Yeah. Like, what's going to happen in round 2? What's going to happen in round 3? And some queens did a little better on that than others. Some queens didn't really do any of that. So, and others kind of did. Yeah. Corey King. And that didn't work. So like it was strange to me, like how the reveal aspect of things. Like I honestly thought between rounds the queens were going to change. Because in the first round, a lot of them went so hard, and I was like, well, obviously you have to have another look. And then I was like, nope. I get, oh, okay. I guess you're all just going with that. Got it. Anyways, it was weird.
It does feel weird to me. I agree. I think Lana did a good job of planning in a sense. She did a few of hers, and then she had like one or two more for the last bit. Corey's was Corey's. I don't know what else to say to that one. I feel like that one's gonna get like that's gonna get the censors like knocked off. Yeah, I mean, there were a few that I think could have just spaced them out better. Like do one and then do another one. Maybe do two, depending on what your reviews are.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Planning is hard. Planning.
I mean, like Crystal did all of them.
Yes, Crystal did all of them,
and then didn't advance. So I guess that worked.
Yeah.
Question mark? Like it worked that you got them all out there, so everybody got to see them, but then you didn't win, so you didn't advance. I don't know. I was just like,
Like I get it because I remembered Mirages and Morphines from last season, where you did them all, and you kind of have this leotard kind of outfit on, and like that's it. And so whether your plan is like this is what I'm lip syncing in for the rest of the show, or I have one more trick up my sleeve.
Right.
Like, again, if it were me, I would have a reveal under that reveal.
Correct. Hair under hair under hair, outfit under outfit after under outfit, like you know, something. I don't know to shake it up.
Like pull a ponytail off, and it just anyway, just you would just unclip some anyway.
Yeah,
y'all need to get better. Be better. All right.
Moving on to nerves. Damon, what are you giving nerve for?
So these are really good positive ones. So
okay.
Some nerves, some good nerves. So Lexi's story in episode 14, it's heartbreaking in a way to understand what someone has gone through and is still kind of dealing with and going through. Learning everything that she's been through and being the survivor and having Latrice of all people, like telling that to Latrice, who has also kind of been through some shit.
Right.
And it's beautiful to hear. And I always speak to bravery, and it does take a lot of nerve to do that. So props to Lexi for continually sharing her story. Just all of that.
Right.
And then episode 15, on this look, I'm giving nerve because Bitchy wore those big ass pants, and now no one can sit next to you. Like you literally and I've got room. I
hadn't even considered that. And I guess that's a known look. Like it's kind of a replica of an artist look. I saw somebody on Blue Sky like give snaps to Anya for doing something as tribute to some artist, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I could remember who it was. It looks so familiar, and I was having the hardest time trying to figure out who it is. And I've been out on vacation. I was out this weekend. I haven't been on social media, although I was on social media enough on Saturday morning to get spoiled of the ending of this episode.
To know who 15. Won. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's okay. That's okay though. It's fine. But I do. God, those pants. I'm like looking at the picture right now, and I'm just like, look at all this space you've got. Like. Yes. You get nerve for that because it took a lot of nerve, Anya nerve. Anyway. Gary.
So I do think it'd take nerve to do the Vegas tie-in into episode 14. I don't know if it was well executed, but like it was. There were some elements of it that were good.
Yeah.
And some not so good. So I guess in the end, I'm saying it was like nerve. You know, like you could have really knocked it out of the park, but you didn't. Like, you know, this has nothing to do with Latrice.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with like the attempt to like let the audience out there know that there's a show you can go see year round. It's the other stuff, the gift shop number, the like them doing the routine, them promoting the Las Vegas show,
right?
In one of those video clips, and then the photo shoot,
so. Okay, I feel like we got less of some things that could have potentially been more important, and more of things that were irrelevant. So again, don't get me wrong. I love the photo shoots. That's amazing. Look at you. Like, that was a great opportunity. We didn't need to bring the dancers in and talk about bringing the dancers in every time.
But there was one dancer that I will say I was very happy to see every single time he came out. I'm just saying, like none of them are really my type, but there was one that drew my attention every single time. So I'm just saying.
Fair.
I don't know his name.
I don't either. I don't think we.
But I recognize him from previous productions and things. Anyways.
But no, I understand that. But again, and I get that it was like, this is their interaction with RuPaul, and that was why probably we got more of that. But I would have loved, with the song, with the music, with that performance, like, we've always seen their choreo rehearsal in some shape. Usually we've seen some of their choreo.
Right.
I guess, again, this one probably wasn't as important, but it left it empty to me that we didn't get anything about them from that performance.
Right. That's fair.
And then while I enjoyed the interviews with Latrice, and I think I'm fine with that, I feel like we should have had more opportunity to see what they were doing when they were recording the promos, as an example. Because those were part of the challenge.
Right.
Anyway.
I think it would have been better if they'd included more girls. Like if they had brought in Asia O'Hara and Derek and Coco, and like each one of the queens worked with the contestants on a thing. So like one of them was there helping them with the video, like the shout out, like stuff. One of them was helping them, like, you know, think about what they want to do for the photo thing. Like in the workroom, they could have, you know, kind of sat with them a little bit and talked to them about some stuff before they go do the photo sheet, you know, because obviously that was their moment with Rue. I don't know, like, anyways.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then
I think go ahead.
No, I was just going to move on to 15,
Okay.
but go ahead if you have a final thought on 14.
No, I don't. I'm good.
And then again, so episode 15, the three-way 360 number.
Uh-huh.
I was excited by the prospect because they showed the brackets, and I was like, ooh, there's going to be three queens going up against each other. Like, this will be interesting because we haven't had three queens, like, lip sync in a little while. But it was problematic because it was obvious that it was meant to be Corey versus Lydia. So it felt like there was a third wheel aspect to it. And it wasn't that fun to watch. So it started giving me, like, PTSD flashbacks to when, like, the whole crew, like, when the whole cast had to lip sync or whatever that one time.
The final six, yeah.
What it was like, you know, 8 of them or whatever that ridiculousness was. Like, I was just like, like, it just... And it's funny because in my head I was like, oh, the stage is definitely big enough for 3 of them.
It would have been.
Would have been?
If they had used it.
Right. But, like, they all get so weird. They remind me of, like, puppies in, like, the pet store. And they're all up front, up against the glass. You know what I mean? Like, me. Like, trying to, like, you know, and I'm just like, you know what? You're too needy. I'm not interested in you. If I'm getting a puppy, I want a puppy who's well behaved. This is not well behaved. This is like, you know, this is like behavior that I'm not looking for in a handler. Like I want the puppy that's like not the loner necessarily,
but like yeah.
Like I want someone who's control. Right. And so anyways, like so that's a whole other thing, you know, that kind of happens. So I don't know. I feel like there should have been they could have changed it and they could have sort of, well, rigged it more. They could have made it because Susie was the last one out that she didn't have to do the first round or like, the second round. Do you know what I mean? Like
there was a like I think last season there was one. If I'm remembering, there was somebody that went to the final. Like I think they did the 3 early.
Yeah.
I don't remember. There was something where somebody went to like the 3rd round.
I mean, they could have really screwed it to Lana and been like, well, since you were in the bottom so many times and you're the quote unquote lip sync assassin, you get to do it twice the first time around. Or something. Anyways, I don't know. So to me, I think it took nerve. I didn't like it. Anyways.
It was something else. I will say that. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like there could have been something better involved with it all. Overall, I feel. LipSync Lalaparuza.
Yeah. I don't know. It was not that enjoyable to me. Yes.
I'm just looking at the wiki and it has like winner loser and then it has for the 3rd one like winner losers and it has an S and it's like oh.
Well, it's true though.
It is true.
Yeah. All right, you ready to move on to our next segment?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, so it's time for our snaps and eye rolls, aka the highs and the lows. So these happen to be the standout items from these 2 particular episodes we're giving extra special attention to. So, Damon, who are you giving snaps to?
So I am giving snaps to Jules's Sparkles. I was genuinely impressed with her the episode 14.
Okay.
I won't say she wasn't someone that was on my radar for a while. She was cute, she was perky, she was very much she gave a lot of like face to the camera and a lot of like
right,
you know, comments, and given her age, I was, you know, genuinely surprised. The episode 14 with she knew the assignment, she understood the assignment, and she went with it hook, line, and sinker. She was like, I know what I'm doing. I know how Vegas is going to work. I know exactly what I want to do. I will say, and I also appreciated her vulnerability with like, where are you going to be in 5 years, and her having that like I don't know moment. I was a little surprised, but it makes sense. If I were 20-something years old and my goal was to get on Drag Race, and I got on Drag Race, then my goal was to win Drag Race, that's my next goal. I don't have a goal after that yet because I haven't thought about it in any way, shape, or form because I haven't gotten there yet.
Right. The reason why I'm pausing is because this is the moment I think where production really tipped their hand. Because when that happened with Latrice, I was like, oh, this spells doom. The fact that you don't have a plan, the fact that you haven't thought that far ahead about where you want to be and what your career is going to be after Drag Race is very revealing. And I'm like, I don't think this is a good thing for you. And then the judges are like, oh, we appreciated your vulnerability because it shows, like, you know, you've been so focused on this moment. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you could rip her to shreds over this. You could easily say that, like, it's surprising that you're being so short-sighted and you don't have a plan for the future and to make an entire career out of this. And, like, you have all, you know, where's your dream board, Jules? Like, it was wild.
Agreed. And I agree. But I also wonder, and this is me thinking about age and what have you, and I'm just going to own it. And no offense, the current, like, Zennials, or these, no, not Zennials, what are they? Generation Alpha? I don't fucking know. At this point, whoever this current reference of generation of kids are,
right?
I don't think there is a lot of thought about the future.
Well, I mean, can you blame them?
Fact. Where's my fan? Shit.
I mean, if I was the youth today, I probably wouldn't really have many plans for the future either, because who knows what the fuck your future is going to be.
That part.
The world's going to blow up.
But again, she shined so much for me this episode, that I have to give my saps to that, because again, I wasn't expecting it. And has she been, like, I don't want to call her, she wasn't a floater. I feel like she did pretty decently early on, and then sort of, like, drifted off into the giving the occasional soundbite, being the young girl. That's how we got the piggy part, you know, all of those little things. And then, you know, we had the whole shit with Arietti and all of that. And I was just like, yeah. I think the Arietti beef sort of surprised me, and I do appreciate that she actually brought it up in her conversation with Latrice.
I mean, that was an interesting moment where she talked about it, and therefore production decided to go with it, because then Michelle comments on it from Judges Panel and says she was shocked to hear that Arietti stole her jokes and that she didn't say anything to anybody and didn't make a deal of it. And I was like, oh, that is like a real reality moment, because I think the judges would have sliced her up and cooked her up and eat her alive for had that been revealed.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Anyway,
so
Jules, congrats for making the top 4. You are my dark horse. I was not expecting you to be in the finale.
Interesting.
But now that you are, we'll see.
Yeah. That's fair.
Gary, how about you?
So I'm giving snaps for Susie's fall and evolution. It was super obvious when you watch episode 14, like, especially if you go back and watch it again, knowing what we know, she was not going to make it to the top.
Yeah.
What's unfortunate about that is she's kind of falling in the trope of the theater kids. The Broadway queens that just never, make it to the end, let alone win. So, that being said, she comes back for the latest episode, and she really played with subversion. Yeah. In that she paints her face like she's painted it before. So she does this clown kind of thing. Like, she leans into what she's now known for.
Right.
But then, like, pivots. And, like she doesn't get the Liza with the Z. And everybody's like, I mean, even the judges comment aloud about how, like, Susie's pissed that she didn't get her song. And I found that kind of interesting. And then Susie gets out there and performs. And she does really well. Like, and I'm like, oh, right. Susie doesn't always do Susie Toot, like 100% of the time. If you saw her, so on WoW Presents on YouTube, they have a new series they did this season called Hello, 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 based on Rue's opening entrance line. And so I can't remember who the queen it is that won in the UK edition, or UK versus the world, whatever. Anyways, I don't know who she is, but she seems very nice. But she was at the UK Drag Con, and a bunch of the queens from this season were there and did interviews with her. And so she does these like reveals where they pull out their audition tapes and they like talk about, and then she does rapid fire questions and stuff. And it was really cute and fun. So you kind of got a post episode interview, kind of like What You Packin', but very different. From queen to queen. It was very interesting. Some things were very consistent. Corey King is the messiest queen there is. The entire cast said it. Her station apparently was just absolutely atrocious. That was one of the rapid fire questions. But Susie, like they show their package, like they actually show their audition tape. And so Susie's stuff in Florida, it's obvious that there are some numbers that are not the Susie brand.
Right.
And so I was like, yeah, that's the interesting thing about her is that, like, she doesn't always do this, vaudeville 20s thing.
Very 1920s thing, yeah.
So when she got to the LipSync Lalaparuza, like, she knew she was going to have contemporary songs and designs. And so she showed that she actually knows how to dance. And I'm going to say this right now. Susie Toot, you don't know who the fuck I am, but I'm telling you right now, that Natasha Lyonne tousled red hair number after you like did the reveal, mama, that's your look. Like that frames your face so well. Like as was it one of the queens in the back in the workroom said that Susie was turning all the lesbians on. Like
yeah.
And I was like, yes. Like she just did so damn well.
There's something to be said about a queen who knows, like I said it earlier, like understands the fucking assignment. So you going into a lip sync Lollapalooza, if Susie had stuck to her like 1920s, like tap dancey, whatever stuff, she would have been eliminated like round one.
Right.
Instead, she was like, and good thing, because they have all the songs, they know all the songs. There was only one that would have really worked with her style.
Right.
Her original style. Maybe two. But anyway. So she's like, yeah, I need to change it up. And that's what she did each time. Every number she did, every lip sync that she did was just a little twist or different to what she did before. And that's a sign of a consummate performer. That is someone who knows what they can and can't do. And she did some pretty decent things. She is one of the queens that held on to her fucking reveals. Obviously, that
part.
But like, the reveal to the, like we knew the candy, I'm looking at the picture. We knew the candy stripe like poncho is coming off. Like everyone that we know that's coming off.
Right.
But to reveal to like this shredded like denim like jacket kind of look was very surprising. And then you like, oh, and I'm gonna take my hair off. Because I looked at it and that's what shocked me is the reveal from the like, because you can look at the wig and you see all these little like, oh, she's got like her like usual finger wave like 1920s like sort of bob on. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Okay, there we go. But when you put that fucking hair on and it came out and I was like, oh, okay. Oh,
right.
We got you.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, she really was subversive in breaking the mold of what she's known for. I mean, she takes the hair off and then she's like whipping her hair back and forth on the floor, and I know everyone's like, "What the hell? Like, what is happening?" Like, yeah, I was.
Also, just so you all know, she was one of the only queens that picked her opponent as opposed to picking her song.
Well, you know.
She knows what she's doing. Like, I just...
Yeah.
Point period. Susie knows what she's doing.
And I will say this. Yeah. I think that... I mean, I'm very proud of her. I'm glad that she ended up winning the title and the extra $50K. I think it was well deserved. I'm very proud of her. Like, I would actually, like, of all the queens in the show, outside of the top 4, I think she's the one I want to go see.
Yeah.
Like, if she's...
So mad. I think it was on a Thursday, and I could not go. I was so mad. Her and Anya have been here.
Oh.
I'm so pissed I couldn't see. Either one. I was so mad. Anyway.
Right. So with that being said, let's move on to eye rolls. Woo! Oh! Okay. Just be careful, because this is my interpretation. Before you say anything, this is the passion I think this is coming with.
Fuck you, and fuck you.
So I'm just gonna pull this here. Arietti's growth ? Is what I'm saying here. So obviously, as we've learned, this was aired this was recently recorded. So probably in the last couple of weeks or so. They've probably seen all of the episodes. They probably know what, they also have probably seen a lot of what the audience and the fans have been saying about them.
Right.
So Arietti in the episode pulls Anya aside and apologizes to her.
Right. Makes it official on camera.
Yes, that part. So, and again, this could all be production. This could all just be that bullshit, and we all know how that is.
Right.
Just throwing that out there. But I also feel this was Arietti CYA.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, like absolutely. Like this was her, because she got the hate from everything. She got the hate from her quote unquote apology that she put on like Instagram or wherever the fuck she put it. And again, Anya had already said like we've already resolved it, the beef, whatever. It just felt fake to me. I'm just gonna call it what it is. It felt forced and fake, and because that doesn't seem like her. And I would have. I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say it truly. If that's how you are, then that's how you are. Just be that. Like, if you're gonna be a bitch, be a bitch. Like that's what I have gotten from Arietti from her season. She is a bitch. Point blank. Period. No anything else. I'm fine if you want to be a bitch. Own it. If you want to be a bitch, then be a bitch. Like we're fine. We get it. We'll respect that. It may mean it may affect your livelihood, but I would rather you own that than be like, yeah, I'm a bitch, whatever. Well, by the way, but maybe not. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, because it did. Either be real or be out, like, because that's kind of what I want. The comment was very nasty and negative and unneeded, especially since you put it on a fucking mirror for all of the queens to see.
Mm-hmm.
You did that. So for you to just like, and again, to apologize privately to Anya. I get it. You're in a room. Everybody's getting ready. You can't really do it in front of everybody. And it is entirely possible that we've had this conversation off camera. It's fine. But what me as an audience member saw is you took a moment to save yourself and cover your ass because you dealt with the hate. It wasn't for Anya's benefit. It was for yours. Was that intentional?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been waiting. I'm like, she is serving up piping hot tea, and there's just going to be a moment. There's just going to be a moment.
Oh.
Thank you.
Anyways. So I've got two eye roll things. First Lady
Damn.
Ross Matthews.
Ooh.
Girl, you and these blouses, selling them online. Here's the problem I have. The first moment Ross is on screen, I was like, what the fuck is she wearing? And then I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I like the sheer red blouse with the brooch, with the swoop. But then, the more I kept watching it, I clocked that she was wearing a black, like, tank top type undershirt. And that pissed me off.
Uh-oh.
Because I was like, girl, if you're going to wear sheer, wear something that makes sense. Like, wear red. Or put on a nude bodysuit. Something. Like,
Ugh.
the more I saw it, the more it pissed me off. I was like, what the fuck is that? Anyways. So,
I'm just looking at the...
she's really reinvented herself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just annoyed with it. Anyways. So, yeah, I'm like, nah, I think it could have been done better. Anyways.
Ow. So I'm looking at the pictures from the group shot of the judges. Yeah. They're cute. That's nice.
Yeah.
Look your skinny ass self kind of. Anyway.
That part. And then my other eye rolls are for the Corey Lydia matchup. It was bound to happen. You knew that's what production was going to want when it was becoming obvious during the season, and then they talk about it at the beginning of the episode that they are official. It has been a thing for a while. Blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So it was super obvious to me that they were going to end up lip syncing against each other, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
So
third wheeled, but
correct. And that was the thing that I didn't like about it. I would have liked it better if it was just the two of them.
Right.
But it wasn't. Anyways. So that was my arrow. I was like, girl, please, whatever. So that is the most recent 2 episodes. And apparently we're going to have a finale now. Yeah. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know if it's on a stage with an audience has been recorded. Usually I see people talking about it and trying to get tickets and going to it, but I start to wonder if that's worn out its welcome, because one thing I have consistently heard is that it's like an 8 to 12 hour gig, and like you don't get to leave. So like if you show up to be an audience member and you're there in drag, you are there all damn day. So like you don't get to just, scoot out or whatever. And so that, yeah, there is some seat filling and some other things. So I don't know if they've done that. I'm also going to be very curious because it occurred to me they already have a theater. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to do it at the El Capitan in Los Angeles.
Nope.
You can do it in Vegas.
Yep.
I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do the finale in Vegas or not. And if it's going to be kind of a close set thing. Or are they going to go weirdly pivot this year to an all-stars finale and do it all in the main studio?
Yeah. Well, that's what it looked,
I don't know.
Like, that's what they did. I feel like that's where they did the LipSync Lalaparuza, right? Like, it felt like it was on the... Right? Was it on the stage?
It was on the main stage. Or they rebuilt the main stage somewhere else, but it looked identical to me. Like, I didn't clock that it was any different.
Come on. Season finale.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the final 4. We've kind of alluded before, I think you and I, like, are they going to do, back to the Bob the Drag Queen finale where everybody gets a number? Are they going to do, the spinning wheel head-to-head thing? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm I them doing it at the Vegas show would be a callback to what was George's season? 14, 13, 14? Anyway,
Maybe.
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
But and having seen the show, it's fine. Like they can make it happen.
Right.
I'll have to look because I've only seen the picture. They had the picture of Liza like coming out. Like I think I remember from the previews. And it looks like it's at this same stage, like the main stage. They just brought in more audience and all that stuff. It's possible. But it's also possible that they, like you were saying, they could do it at a bigger theater. Right. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah. So as we get ready to wrap up this particular season, you have plenty of ways to let us know what your thoughts were in regards to these episodes and potentially who the winner is. You can go to our blog, cubsoutloud.com, and leave a comment there. You could also send us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. You could call and leave us a message. We would play it on the show or not and just listen to it. You can call 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. Pretty much search for Cubs Out Loud as one word on the social media outlets. If you want to join the Telegram chat for Cubs Out Loud Drag Race specifically, you can go to tinyurl.com/telegram-COLDR. If you want to know about the main episodes of Cubs Out Loud that are going to be airing on Sunday evenings typically, you can go to tinyurl.com/calendar-COL. If you want to sponsor us in various ways, you can be a supportive individual. We would love it. You can go to zazzle.com/cubsoutloud and get various items there. Damon and I happen to be twinsing today with the drag pride consent shirts that we have, as well as there are Cubs Out Loud Drag Race accoutrement that you can get there. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/cubsoutloud for $1 or more a month, and you get to be supportive of us. You would get the full unedited shows, including pre and post shows. You can also just make a one-time donation. You can go to paypal.me/cubsoutloud, and you can give us a tip. We would be happy to take it. You can also pretty much find us anywhere online that the podcasts are available in your podcast player for Cubs Out Loud Drag Race specifically. And Damon, if people want to get in touch with you, where would they do so?
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79. That's TheaterCub79 on most related sites. Or you can find me as pup_umber on Twitter, which I'm not there as much anymore. Right. Or pup_79 on Blue Sky. The Blue Sky and the Twitter are not safe for work. Or you can find me as DMAGamer79 on TikTok, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Those are safe for work.
Nice.
Gary.
If you want to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as Gabriel73. I'm not really on that platform anymore, where I had a special profile just for all the drag content. And so far, I haven't really been spoiled by Blue Sky, so I'm pleased with that. So with that being said, we'll be back after the finale airs to talk about who wins season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Who do you think's going to win? Let us know. Comment and subscribe.
So until then, we'll see you later, babies.
Bye.